Hey everyone, it's me, Carrie Lynn, and I'm going to be introducing our next guest. And gentleman's name is Ron, and he's Blackfeet and has lived on a reservation here most of his life. And I've known Ron most of our lives since we were just, young teenagers. I've known him and his family, and so I just kind of wanted to give a background on Ron, his personality and everything, so that you could really appreciate him being willing to come on our channel and tell his story. So Ron is really just kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward guy. And he's not one to want to put the spotlight on him, and he's really reserved, and he's just such a hard worker. So, that's his life, is just working and taking care of his family. And so it took a lot of persuading for him to be willing to come on. And so his wife, Wanda, and me and Lailani persuaded him to come on and tell his story. And I think the other part of it was that he wanted to tell his story for others who have had encounters, just to be that support to them, letting them know that they're not alone in what they saw. And so I think that was kind of his motivation too behind coming on and publicly sharing his story. And it was a few years that I had found out about his stories. He's had maybe about 3 stories, but he told one when we went on our Sasquatch hike. And so since then, it's been several years that we've been trying to persuade him to come on. And so we're just so thankful that Ron was willing to come on our channel, tell you guys his story, and we hope that you enjoy it.
Well, I'll tell you guys something that happened. I don't like to call it a story. It's really not a story. It's actually an account. It actually happened. And I don't talk about it very often. My wife says, yeah, you should just tell your story. And so I'll give you guys a little idea of what it was back in 1972. I was just a kid. But kids back then, we weren't like these kids now that have video games and such. We weren't entertained inside. We were entertained out in the wide open, at that age, we actually had firearms, We went out to Depot Coulee. Depot Coulee was our adventure place, And we always liked to go through Tunnel 57. There was always water in there. Well, they say the goat man hangs out there now, but people they just like to hear things like that. But I'll tell you about something that happened way back when we were kids, and I can't even remember who was all there, but I was just telling Wanda when we were coming off the bridge, I said, well, most of those people are gone. They passed away already. And one of them I know he's kind of not right, and he said no more. But we were kids, and we were out there. We were out there all the time. We were fascinated with hobos. There was actually hobos back then, and it was in January of 72, and we were out there shooting rabbits. There was a lady who actually fed her family with wild game and whatnot. So if we shot rabbits, we knew who we could give them to. And this was way back in the 70s, before food stamps, before EBT cards. So when you gave something to someone, they actually appreciated it because that was what they had. Mm-hmm. That was all they had in some instances. And I was told when I was given this rifle, if you shoot it and you can't eat it, you better be ready to, or you can't sell it, you better be ready to eat it. So we would give this game away to this woman, and then there was elders too that would take this meat. But we were out there just specifically for rabbits, because after a snowstorm out in the north, the wind blows out in the north, and you walk along the ridges and you'll see these little steam holes where the steam is coming out of this hole because there's a rabbit in it. And so you just put your rifle down there and you shoot the rabbit. It wasn't really, you're not out there. It's really just, you know where you're going, you know where your animal's going to be. He's holed up in there. So we went through this tunnel 57 and we were going way back in there. We were by the north side of Morgan Lake. And there's not too many people know where Morgan Lake is, but when you're going to East Glacier, it's just off to the east. You can't see it from the road. So we're going along there and we're getting these rabbits. We're shooting. And then way across there to the valley, to outside of Depot Coulee to the east is another little valley that goes up, and there's some brush in there. I think it's diamond willow. It's a bunch of diamond willow brush in there. And this rabbit jumps up and he's running, and we start shooting at him. And one of the guys says, "Hey, look at that. There's a guy up there." So we look up towards where the diamond willow brush is, and it's about half mile or better away. We're looking up there and he's coming out of the brush, and there's a corner post up there. And he walks past that corner post, and we're watching him. All we got is 22s, and we got these 4-power scopes. Not big scopes, not something you could zoom in with. And we're looking through our rifles at him, and he walks past that post, and he's head and shoulders above it. And then he starts up the ridge, and in the bright snow, all you could see is almost like a silhouette. And it was around 2 in the afternoon. And so he's going up the ridge and he stops. He looks back and he's all in black. You can just identify him as being in black. And then he goes on up the ridge and he hits the top of the ridge and he turns around again. And he looks back at us, and he doesn't pull his arms up here to move, to propel himself forward. He's more or less lumbering his way up the ridge. And never seen anything like it, you know. He's a pretty heavier guy. And we never thought nothing of it. We just went on with our day. So we get home and we clean up them rabbits. We take them over to the neighbors, and we're sitting at home eating supper, and my dad starts asking us, what'd you do today? We tell him, well, we're out in Depot Coulee. I said, there was a guy out there. He was a big guy. And I said, he looked like he was all dressed in black. He said he held his arms down to the side. He didn't move like us. Never knew nothing about no Bigfoot or no Sasquatch, or way back then if somebody told a story like this, they would refer to him as a stick Indian. Oh. But I didn't even know what a stick Indian was. I just know what I seen. And so I'm telling him this story, and he says, hang on. So he goes back in his bedroom, comes out with this magazine. I don't know if they even have this magazine anymore. He used to read these magazines. They're adventure magazines. One's called Saga and one is called Argosy. Well, in the Argosy magazine, they had a Bigfoot article in there. The article from California, the Patterson Gimlin or whatever it is. There's video in there. There was still pictures in there. Never seen it before. And so my dad says, did he look like this? And I look at him and we said, yeah, that's him.
Wow.
And he said, you saw a Bigfoot? And I said, I did? And he said, yeah. I said, oh, okay, well, I never thought nothing of it. You know, I wasn't interested. At that age, I wasn't interested in reading, so I wasn't going to read an article. Well, I thought it was pretty cool, and then you could go back in the archives of the glacier, or the Great Falls Tribune. After that time, they began to see them down around Almond Cascade, and they had them in the newspaper. Wow. But they would have people's accounts of seeing them or tracking them, and so we seen one up here, and yeah, that was a long time ago. It was 52 years ago.
Wow. Hello everybody, Lailani here with Pikuni Bigfoot Storytelling Project. I hope that you enjoyed the story that Ron shared. We have his brother here, Sean, with us today. And I wanted to introduce Sean because he is the one who did our Iimoitapi, our new logo with the stand-up war bonnet logo drawing just this year. So we launched that new logo this year and we're very proud of it, excited about it. I had came across Sean's artwork and his apparel last year. He sells hats, t-shirts with a story design behind it, all Blackfeet. He's a Blackfeet artist. And so I wanted him to come on and talk a little bit about his work and his artwork here on our channel and give you guys an opportunity to be able to order it. So we'll put that information down in the link and his email contact right here. But for now, we're just gonna hear a little bit from Sean Split Ears and his work that he's been doing here within our community.
Okay, Nixuquax. Nisto Anakok sa Tepikstuki ni Tomohtu to Amskapi Pikuni. Hello everyone. Glad I was asked today to talk about some of my apparel. I worked with Lailani on a logo for Iimoitapi. Some of my apparel, like the one my brother was wearing, the one Lailani's wearing right now, the hat she's wearing, all inspired by our Sasquatch heritage. The buffalo was inspired by the release of buffalo up at Ninastaku recently through Irvin Carlson's program. I was very inspired by that, which led me to create this design. The design on Lailani's hat was inspired by 1914 or somewhere in there. Chief Little Plume was invited to Theodore Roosevelt's inauguration. Him along with Geronimo and several other well-known tribal leaders at that time were invited down there for the inauguration. So I imagine our chief going down there in his full regalia and representing us. That's what inspired me on those two items. I do have my shirts and hats available. These were also based on relief wood carvings, which I also do. So if you're interested, you can send me a message at splitears@gmail.com.
Thanks, Sean.
Again,